Hey guys, welcome to this video on Saturn in Cancer. If you have Saturn in Cancer in your natal chart in astrology, this video is for you. I'm Cassandra, the Saturn Sage, helping you use astrology to evolve. And in this video, we're talking about Saturn in Cancer. Saturn restricts the energy of whatever it touches. And Saturn in Cancer restricts the person from feeling nurtured. So in childhood, people with Saturn in Cancer have this tendency to have a childhood where they didn't get nurtured like a normal child technically should. So this can show up in many different ways. They could have had busy parents who put more focus on the physical world than on emotions. They could have also been adopted, had a parent not be present, or other extremes of this where they didn't get really a lot of emotional nurturing. So what ends up happening is they grow up not really feeling comfortable with their own emotions, not really feeling okay being vulnerable. This is the challenge for the Saturn in Cancer person, is accessing vulnerability and nurturing others, nurturing themselves. So how this shows up is in relationships. People with Saturn in Cancer can have a hard time getting close to people. So because the person with Saturn in Cancer grows up not having their emotional needs met, they have to work really hard to be able to meet them because it's such a foreign thing. There's a few ways this can manifest, but a couple examples are, one is they are really not, they don't care enough. They're not in touch with their emotions, okay? So when you're not in touch with your emotions, you can end up doing things that put you in not so good situations, working in jobs that totally deplete you, having relationships where the other person doesn't care about you. Why? Because you weren't thinking about your own emotional needs, because that wasn't something that was ever learned. And so they can set aside their own needs and barrel through life with just focusing on getting through instead of taking the time to acknowledge whatever they need to feel secure in a situation. So Saturn in Cancer people, because of this, they have to work really hard to learn what even makes me feel secure. What would that even feel like? And if I did have my needs met, what would that look like? So this is something they really have to work on if they want to have a sense of emotional fulfillment. It doesn't mean they can't be happy or they're never happy until they learn this, but that their own ability to nurture has been stunted in some way. And it doesn't mean they can't be amazing mothers or nurturers either. So sometimes Saturn in Cancer can be uncomfortable with vulnerability, with telling people how they feel, okay? Or with hearing other people's feelings. And they might have to learn how to deal with the emotional side of life so they don't, again, kind of just barrel through things. Okay, so that is another way this shows up. But when it comes to Cancer energy, there really is that need to have the emotional security. So the Saturn in Cancer person usually is not going to be fulfilled if they just ignore their emotions their whole life, because anyone with anything in Cancer is going to have some emotional needs. They're going to care about how they feel. So for the Saturn in Cancer person, they have to learn how to care about how they feel and then learn how to meet whatever emotional needs they have. This also covers, again, vulnerability, expressing their emotions, allowing other people to express their emotions. And, again, the block might not be on all sides. Sometimes a Saturn in Cancer person will, again, listen to other people's emotions just fine, but then not be able to express their own. Another way this shows up is the opposite extreme, where the Saturn in Cancer person can actually be more be unbalanced in terms of how emotionally expressive they are, how quick they are to feel like they need some kind of need something, from a situation. They need emotional soothing. They need a little more guidance. And so this actually happens to many people with Cancer placements, is that if they didn't get nurtured in childhood, they will kind of look for that nurturing everywhere until they learn that it can only be accessed within. This is the challenge of every Saturn placement, is that the energy we're looking for, we have to generate it. So Saturn in Cancer, if they want to overcome the placement, they have to learn to generate this sense of emotional security. Some people with this placement will actually end up almost obsessively buying real estate, because that need for emotional security gets translated into, if I have physical land, then I can be unshakable. And that's the true desire for the Saturn in Cancer, is to feel unshakable, is to feel like a rock. It's about figuring out what you need to feel like that rock, how much you need to have in your savings to feel like that rock, or how many people you need to have in your life that you could call at 2 a.m. to feel like that rock, or whatever it is for you. So let's talk about how to work through this placement, because people with Saturn in Cancer, first of all, you guys have this potential to be this emotional rock for others, because you know what it's like to feel alone. You know what it's like to feel like no one is there for you. And because of that, that challenge that you've had, you have the ability to bring a sense of an emotional support to people in a very grounded way. You really can be such a soothing energy, an emotional force to be reckoned with for other people if you master this Saturn. The way to master this Saturn, even though it involves other people, is to really nurture yourself. Really learn what you need to be emotionally secure and create that in your life. Learn how much money you need to have in your savings to feel comfortable and stable, and then create that, save that much money. Learn how many people you need to be able to call at 2 a.m. to feel like I have a good network. And for some people with this placement, it's about learning being that person, what you have to embody, what energy you have to bring to the table, so that you can be the person who other people want to be there for. Another thing for this Cancer placement to do is to express how you feel. The more you express how you feel and listen to other people express how they feel, the more you are mastering this Saturn. Okay, there is no limit to how much you should try to express how you feel. Because this is your Saturn, this is where you are the most repressed. This means for you, you can go like way further than anyone else. You can feel like all I do is express how I feel, and that still might not be enough. You can't overdo it, okay? So for Saturn in Cancer, it's learning to honor your emotions, learning how to say, I don't feel good when I work in this environment. Maybe I can create a better one. Now, some of you watching this maybe have already mastered some of those things. So just keep in mind that people at many different ages and stages of their Saturn placement are going to be watching this video. So for some of you, you already have learned a lot of this, and some of you it's brand new, and that's okay. Just take what resonates as far as the tools to work with it and leave the rest. So again, mastering the Saturn is expressing your feelings, letting other people express their feelings, being there for them, embodying that Cancer energy of emotional security, learning what you need to feel emotionally secure, and taking the time to make that important. Make that important and work toward it in your life. It doesn't mean you're going to do that by tomorrow. It might take you some time to even learn what your emotional needs are, depending on where you are in the process of working with this Saturn. But just know that if you want to overcome this Saturn, and if you're in the challenge of this Saturn, you always have the potential to be these emotional rocks for other people. You have the potential to be an emotional rock for yourself. It's just learning what you need to be able to do that. That is the challenge, and that is the key to unlocking the gifts of this Saturn. So that's my video on Saturn in Cancer. Let me know in a comment below, guys, if this made sense to you. I love hearing from you. You can also book a private reading using the link in the description below, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get access to more videos like this. and I will see you all in the next video.